another episode of Diva Court. I'm your host, Marsha Mignot, and with me is my co-diva.
Hey, y'all.
Dana Smith, government names as usual, listeners.
It's me.
We're coming to you live because this week's news is hot off the presses, and we want to make sure that you listeners get it fresh off the presses. So don't turn your cell phone off. We know that it's nighttime is the right time, but not tonight because we have edutainment beyond compare.
Somebody's excited.
Find us on Spotify. Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Google.
Oh my God!
I have to switch it up so they can get all types of
I see you bidding, okay? Yeah. I see the heavy bidding
Google
tonight.
us. Google us. You see the voice control?
I need Phony Braxton to just turn it right now, okay? No, there ain't no angel by your side. That's a devil. That's a devil. Listeners, don't forget to look for our videos every Wednesday when we push them out real good. Could you stay focused?
I'm just about through.
Please.
I'm just about
No, you need to be through.
I'm just about through.
No, you through already.
Okay. You want to drink to that?
Make sure you subscribe. Why would I drink to you not being done?
Okay.
We're just getting started.
Let's do it.
Oh, jeez.
What
listeners,
are we subscribing to?
It's hard to keep the diva on the rails.
I'm so excited.
You are. You're so excited. So let me get to the topics, listeners. I'm not going to delay. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, President Kamala Harris.
I was a prophet. I'm just saying. I prophesied in that moment.
What you say? You were psychic?
Last week.
I say you weren't psychic. You were psycho.
Prophet is what I would like to be called for a moment.
Think not.
According to the Bible, if my prophecies come out incorrect, then I must be stoned to death.
Well, I'm going to stone you tonight.
I was right.
You were wrong.
I was right.
You were wrong.
I said that Biden is coming off that ticket. I said that COVID is about to be, once he gets this COVID, watch they pull him off the ticket. Bam. That's what happened.
Wow. So what we'll do is we'll go back, listeners.
Wait, did
and
I call you and say that to you though? No, remember? No, I think I called you.
Listeners.
No, that's what I said. Okay, listeners, let me say this. So, although she does not want to admit it, Attorney Mignot and I are like BFFs.
Oh my word.
And so I called her and I said, oh my gosh,
so
Marsha.
Not right.
Oh my gosh, Marsha. Did you just hear? Biden got COVID. They about to pull him off the ticket. They going to use COVID as a reason to pull him off the ticket. Watch. I called her and said these things. Actually, I called you that Monday. When did he get COVID? That Monday. Remember we were on our way home? I was on my way home, and then I called you out the blue like, did you hear?
I must have been on my way at work.
No, this was after. This was last
from
Monday
work.
Because
I was coming from work.
That conversation was about the judge being pulled off of.
Listeners, I can't keep her in check. But what are we talking about?
I didn't call her about Biden.
We are talking about.
I said that he was going to come off.
President Biden has decided not to run for another term. I am so saddened by that. But I'm so excited about the fact and the prospect that a Black female, woman of color, can be president of this country.
When you say black,
I am so excited. I am so excited. She has my support. I'm with her. Did you notice that campaign? Everybody's sending out this picture of her standing there, and they're like, I'm with her. I'm with her too. Are you with her?
I am so excited that the Jamaicans have shown us how to do it again. They shown us how to win when it came to, is it Hussein? Hussein Bolt? Is it Saddam Hussein Bolt? Or is what's his name?
Saddam Hussein.
Saddam Hussein Bolt. What's his name? Usain?
I can't with you.
What's his name?
Usain Bolt.
When Usain Bolt ran and he won, he showed America how to do it, because then we got Sha'Carri, who ran and she won.
Do you know she's Jamaican?
She got a little Jamaican in her. But she ran for
Is it enough?
She ran for America.
Is it enough?
Yeah.
Oh,
why?
You sure?
You can.
What percentage Jamaican do you want in her?
Jamaican is not an ethnicity.
Oh, but
it's
you
a
keep
nationality.
You keep counting it as if it is.
No,
because,
I don't.
You keep saying my vice president is not black enough.
No,
is not
I said
Jamaican enough.
No,
is not Asian enough. Is not
listeners.
Irish
I don't know
enough.
if we have anybody watching this show, but at no time did I say that she wasn't Jamaican enough. I just gave a shout out to the Jamaicans. I said, Jamaicans, thank you for showing us how to do it. The Jamaicans do it right. The Kenyans do it right. Now, African Americans, I'm gonna need y'all to pull yourselves up by the bootstrap. You know what we do have though? We have the first black woman for Supreme Court justice. So shout out to that. We did that right. So the Jamaicans get the vice president, and the Kenyans got the first black president. So, like, shout out to
they
the
got the first black president.
No, I'm sorry. The first African president.
Okay.
Kenyan president. Let's be more specific, because I know you think I be saying Pacific, but SPA.
Please put the SPA on it, because
Specific.
you know how I feel about the SPA.
I know. So to be more specific, the Kenyans had the first, president. The Jamaicans have the first vice president, and we had the first black woman African American president.
Sounds like we're united as a people.
We are united.
I love
and I think
united.
We need to give credit to where credit's due. She needs to shout it from the rooftops that she represents the Irish. She represents the
Asian.
She represents the Asian.
The black.
And she represents a
She's so nutty. We're gonna have to do some DNA.
Afro.
Okay.
The Afro.
I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. Let me tell you why I'm proud of her.
She represents the African as
because
well.
if you think about the fact that she's educated, she went through law school.
Let me honestly, I still don't like her because she's a prosecutor. So that's my bias with her.
Oh, you trust prosecutors?
I don't trust prosecutors. So I don't like her
Okay.
because she's a prosecutor. And I think all prosecutors are hypocrites.
You say all.
I feel like all. I feel like
Okay.
if you can't follow, if they say that you can't follow all the laws of God, then you definitely can't follow all the laws of
Well, I don't like the
state.
word all.
So if
because I would hate
if
for them
she-
to say all
Hold on.
Jamaicans smoke weed.
No.
All
No.
Jamaicans.
I'm talking about when it comes to law.
No. I'm talking
if
about
you
when it comes to
cross a
all.
lane, if you cross a lane without using your blinker or over a double line, and you're willing to give a ticket to others for that same offense, then I'm going to say you're a hypocrite. So all prosecutors are hypocrites because they're breaking some law.
We cannot do all.
Everybody's breaking a law every once in a while. I'm pretty sure she done rolled through a
We
stop
cannot
sign.
do all.
She rolled through a stop sign.
Let me say it again. We cannot do all.
She done smoked a little weed.
We cannot do all.
And she said she smoked weed.
Weed is good for you
Oh, gosh.
in certain circumstances.
According to her, she was smoking weed
In
when
California.
Weed was illegal.
Let me tell you something. You forgot that one of your
was
presidents
illegal.
said.
Now. Remember, smoking and, smoking weed
And
is not
inhaling.
illegal. No, smoking weed is not illegal. Possession is illegal.
Oh,
Remember,
Ooh.
possession.
Okay. So you remember one of your presidents didn't inhale? Do you remember which one?
but
You
know,
can smoke as long as you don't inhale.
I think we do her a disservice by saying, like, because she represents so many different ethnicities, to call her the first African American.
No, I think we should.
Can I finish?
I think we should. We didn't do it with
Hello?
Obama. Why are we putting so much?
Is this
Why is
thing
the woman
on?
as usual? Why does the woman as usual
this thing
have
on?
to carry an extra burden that men don't have to carry? I've never
Obama-
heard you said that
Obama-
about President Obama.
Obama was literally African American. He literally was.
There
What are you talking
is
about?
no such thing.
He was
literally
from Africa, and he lived in America. His dad was Kenyan. Kenya is on the continent of Africa.
So I visited Africa and I live in America. That means I'm African American. Thank you.
I don't think that's how it
that
works.
definition, honey, needs to just go out the door.
No.
That is
Let's
the
run it back.
problem. Hold on, let me run it back for you.
Wait. His dad is Kenyan. So the continent of Africa is where Kenya resides. So his dad is Kenyan. So his
Did you do your homework
his
on
lineage
on
is Kenyan.
Kamala's lineage? Did you do the lineage on her?
You questioned me about why no one gave Obama a hard
So you
time.
think he's mixed with only two things?
What I'm saying.
That's my question. Is it only two?
What I'm saying
Is it only two?
is that his dad is literally from Africa in this beautiful country called Kenya. He was born in America.
Mm-hmm.
African American.
Not according to former President Trump, he wasn't.
Well,
sorry.
But
sorry, not sorry.
So that is my explanation.
He
of
wasn't
he's
born here.
African American.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my explanation.
My point
that
to
he's
you is
African-American.
he is more than his dad being from Africa and him being born in the United States. Did you find out if his mother was Irish?
American. We talking about his nationality, right?
No. We're talking about everything. You want to give her, you want to say because she is mixed, according to you. Remember your argument now. Don't pivot. Is that Irish is there? African is there. You're saying Jamaican is there.
No,
right?
Jamaican is not an ethnicity.
Listen to me. You're saying that because we can't call her African American or we can't call her black, we can't call her the first black. Why we can't call her the first black?
I don't call Barack Obama the first black president.
What do you call him, the first white one?
I call him the first African American. I don't call him the black. The way it is, black is a nationality.
Cannot with you.
Right.
My neurons can't
like
do
how
that.
I did that.
It can't do that.
You like how I did that? I don't call him the first black president.
Okay.
I call him the first African because his dad is Kenyan.
So you want me to explain why the issue of color in America will never die? Because people of color will never kill it. They will never kill it. Here's the problem.
Tribal for many years.
Here's the problem about your tribes. Here's the problem about your tribes.
Many years.
Y'all are trying to figure out an identity. The people of color born in the United States have an identity crisis. I know that might be offensive to some.
It's in the Bible.
But I have to say it.
We go by the Bible.
And that's why you are finding that if you look at history, listeners, you're going to find that there was once colored, we were called colored people. Mm-hmm. There was once black, called black people. There was once called us brown people. And now we are stuck on and fixated on African American people. When you are, as a people, looking for a label that you can wear, you are distracted. You are not focused on bettering your people. You're focusing on a label. And I don't like labels because labels cause us to discriminate. Okay?
Labels don't cause us to
yes, they
discriminate.
Do. Yes,
Culture,
they do. No.
Culture,
labels,
and complexion, and
color, and labels.
Culture and complexion, and characteristics.
You don't discriminate against me because of my culture. You don't discriminate against me because I'm.
I don't.
Let me tell you something. No. When I am experiencing discrimination, I promise you it ain't because
I heard you. I was discriminating
promise
against you. I was like, who is this?
I promise you.
Who is this woman on my phone?
When somebody discriminates against me.
Who is this woman on my phone? Why are you calling me?
It is not because I ate curry goat for dinner. No, it's not. It's not because I might eat fried fish and bammy.
Culture includes religion.
It's not. No, forget about my religion now. It's not because I say, oh, I'm a Christian.
Culture includes what you wear.
It's not because I said I'm a Christian.
You can't get discriminated
because
you're a Christian.
Listen to me. It's based on my color. Ma'am,
you can get discriminated for more than right, but you can get discriminated for your color. You can get discriminated because of your religion.
But you have to know my religion. That means I have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you what color I am when I walk in the room. You're gonna see that
facial features. You can get discriminated.
No, you can pick them, but they might not be right.
You can get but that's not. So what is your beef with me?
No, my beef is, let's just be happy. She got brown skin. Brown skin.
But I don't agree
You know
with
that song?
her.
I agree with anything they want to call her because I'm focusing on the job.
That's not even
Get
what
the
I'm
job
talking about.
done.
I guess my thing is this. Is that, again, it's a way, like, let's just celebrate her for being the first woman of color. You don't have to, like you said, you don't have to slap a label on her and say she's the first African-American president,
I don't even want them to do that because let me
but
tell you what that does. That loses people, the other people. You lose the other people.
That's what I was just about to say that. Because when you do that, all of her roots, they're not saying she's the first Irish. She's not. They don't say she's the first Jamaican. I don't think Jamaican is an ethnicity, but they're not saying that.
It is now on certain applications. Don't play.
Right, and
they're adding it to the form.
They don't say that,
which
she's
I think is crazy.
Asian. They don't say none of these things. They say she's the first African American. So why are we pushing that message that she's the first African American?
Okay, so ask yourself.
The reason why I believe
who controls the message.
The reason why I believe that, our black community is doing it as well.
Who controls? I didn't say who's doing it as well, because I know some people out there raping,
AKAs,
but it don't make it.
The AKAs are calling her the first African American,
because they're African American,
right?
Are they? No, they're not. They're not all African American. So that's crap.
It's a black sorority, so the majority of
correct.
The majority of them are.
They
call her that
it's
too.
It's filled with people not even born in this country.
I understand that.
Okay, so let's not play.
But again, that's what they. If she was from Nigeria and she happened to be the AKA, they would not say she's the first African American.
Yeah, they would.
Say she's the first Nigerian American. That's what they would say.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
No, they wouldn't. They're still going to go to the African American.
Nigerians do not believe that they're black American.
They're going to go to African. They don't, because here's the thing.
Question. Do you consider yourself African American?
No, I consider myself a black American.
Okay.
Never been to Africa. Not planning on going. Don't like to fly.
You don't consider yourself Jamaican American?
No, I consider myself American. I was born in Jamaica, but I consider myself an American because I became an American citizen. And when I became an American citizen, I took an oath. And I took that oath seriously. I know everybody's not taking it seriously because they just thinking geographically, I just want to live somewhere. So I'll say anything I need to say to get what I need to get and the benefits and the perks that come with it. But I actually have sworn and taken an oath, which the United States requires for you to become a citizen. So I don't go there. Now, people might hear me speak in my Jamaican accent and say things like, oh my God.
So people that you know, do they call themselves Jamaican Americans?
No, we don't put labels. Let me tell you something. This label thing came from the United States.
Right.
It came from the United States. When we're in Jamaica, we say we're Jamaicans. When people are in Trinidad, they say we're Trinidadians. They don't say we're Asian Trinidadian, we're Chinese Trinidadian. People don't do that because we don't focus on that.
Right.
And because the United States focuses on that, they create division. I understand why Caucasians would want to push the narrative that we are this group and that group and this group, and which group do you belong to? Because it's
Why
easier.
Why do you think they want to push the narrative that she is African American?
Because they don't want Caucasian voters to see her as a president that also will represent them. It's a ploy. It's a game. It's a trick. And if you're not careful, you'll fall for it, although you have the same brown skin she has. It is a way to label her in a manner that is not appeasing to everyone.
All skin folk and kinfolk.
I agree with that. But so far, I'm looking at the track record.
And I'm looking at her track record, too.
And I'm telling you,
I don't agree with
one day we were mad because it was white Biden, and today we mad because it's black Kamala. So it looks like we really are only a party of opposition, not a party of difference.
No.
I think she is going to unite the party because she has, within less than 24 hours, she has hit the ground running. Just like most sisters in the United States, we hit the ground running. We're mothers, we're sisters, we're spouses. She is a mom. She don't have, I already warned you about that. Calling somebody not a mother on Diva Court just because they have not biologically
That's not why
had
I call
a baby.
Her not a mom.
She is a mother. She's mothered others. And I've seen it.
Okay.
Because that's
Mothered
where she
others.
gets
So
the
you
name
can-
from.
She mothering
Mothering is a nurturing thing. Okay. And that's why they call her Mamala. You remember that? There was one time they were talking about her family and some of her family members, such as nieces and nephews and in-laws, and they sat down. The kids were around her when she was first running for president.
Auntie.
No, when she was
Auntie
running.
is cool.
Listen to me.
You can be an auntie.
Listen to me.
As a mother, you don't just hand out the title to anybody.
Let me tell you something. I've seen non-biological mothers do way more mothering than a biological mother.
If you take it on someone else's child, regardless of its biological, say the word. I can't even say the word. Say the word. Regardless if it has to do with biology, it doesn't have to do with biology.
She's mothered others. I've seen it.
Can I finish? If you take on the responsibility of being a mom, even if the child is not yours, you can still be a mom. I'm not taking that away from you.
That's why I'm calling her a mother.
Mom. You could be a substitute mom. You could be a foster mom.
She's
you could be
a
all
surrogate
types of
mother, if you like that better.
No. Surrogate mothers are moms who...
Nope, not necessarily.
What I'm saying is that if you're not fully responsible for the child 24 hours well-being, then... call yourself an auntie.
No, she's not an auntie.
There's foster moms.
She's a mother.
There's adoptive moms. There are moms who take on their nieces and nephews and raise them as their own.
That is narrow-minded thinking.
That require that title, and it should only be placed upon them. If you are doing mothering activities, you can be somebody auntie.
So let me ask you a question. Do you stop being a mother because that person turned 19 and they now live at their own apartment?
No.
And you're not paying their... No, hold on. You're not paying their bills. You're not responsible for them.
Lose the title
Hold
of
on.
mom.
You're not responsible for them 25... I'm using your definition. You're not responsible for them 24/7. You don't pay any bills for them, right? But they look up to you. They call you for advice. You're always there for them. When they're stressed out, going through something, they know they can lean on you. If they need your assistance, they call you. If it's financial, you provide it. If it's emotional, you provide it. If it's to fly out and be wherever they are, you provide it. If it's to console, you provide it. Are you telling me that person needs to say, oh, hold on a second, I'm an auntie?
What I'm saying is that if you raise this person and they get older and they're now living independent, but they still call on you, you're still their mother. That doesn't take away anything.
That's what I'm telling you. I saw
but
the segment.
What I'm telling you is this. If you're not raising kids or raising your nephews or raising your nieces or raising kids that were your friends who you brought into your house to raise them and groom them because the parent wasn't being a parent, so you became their mom, the surrogate mom, their foster mom, the mom of some type of mom, and you raise these children, those will always be your children. You'll always be a mom. But if you like give some assistance and throw some money here and spend some time there, and you can always come here and always come there, you're an auntie, and that's fine.
You're
and aunties
splitting
are needed.
hairs.
Aunties are needed. No,
you're splitting hairs because I'm telling you,
we're not going to take motherhood away from the mothers who are literally putting in that work, regardless if it's biological or not.
It's not a zero-sum game, right? Because she's a
There's
mom doesn't mean it takes away from somebody else's mom.
She's a mom, so nobody else can be a mom, so she can't be a mom. What kind of method?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you may not like this, but what I'm saying is that being a mother is a 24-hour job. There's no breaks. There's no breaks. And then when they get old enough, you still are mothering them. But if you are a supportive character in someone's life that provides them with guidance and this and that and blah, 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 you could be a godmother. You could be an auntie.
Let me tell you something.
You don't
I
have
actually
to be
think
mom.
how the title
She's
works
not a mom.
is that
She doesn't have any.
You don't put the title on yourself. People put it on you.
Correct.
She doesn't have.
So if a child calls you mom, you are mom.
Correct.
She's not a mother.
You're a mother to them.
Well, she's not a mother.
She's a mother. She's a mother because you don't know her story. So here's the thing.
So what's her story? What kid she raised?
Here on Diva Court.
What kid she raised?
We are going to zip it so we can learn.
What kid she raised?
I said she has raised children who I've seen in her interview say, in fact, we don't call her Kamala. She is called Mamala because she is a mother to us. So my point to you is...
It's not...
Tiny producer, you got something to say?
It's just another way.
Hold on, let Tiny producer come in.
She don't deserve.
She getting her titles, baby. She getting her titles.
Another title she don't deserve.
Yeah, I honestly agree with what you just said.
Thank you.
You don't have to be like
No, he don't agree with her. He agree with me.
He said no.
I'm just saying, when it comes to being a mother, you don't have to be like biologically born. You don't have to like create that child itself. You can just like find a child and raise it as hard as you can.
Thank you.
And make sure that it lives its own life.
Thank you.
Boom.
He
Tiny
agrees with
producer
me.
agrees with me.
He does
Thank
that. He agrees with me. Raise the kid.
Thank you, Tiny
popping in and
producer.
out of a child's life is not raising a kid.
Listen
It's
to
not
me.
raising
I mean, there's a
kid.
lot of moms that do that.
Hey,
There's a lot of moms that do that.
Then,
Let me
then
tell
they're
you
not
something.
mothers either.
Let me tell you
But
something.
they birthed the baby.
Come on now.
Birthing a baby.
You will
does
not take mother away from her because she had that baby. She went into labor. She went to the
Birthing a
hospital.
baby considers you to be a birthing person, which you are liberal. You should agree to that.
Excuse me.
Birthing
Excuse
person.
me. Okay.
Wait, so
Excuse me.
Your definition just keeps sliding all over the place.
Let me tell you
Like,
something. She's so slippery. She's so slippery.
I'm just going by your
1
liberal
minute
labels.
you got to have the baby to be the mother.
That's not
the
what
next minute.
Oh my God.
You don't have to have the
Y'all-
baby
I
to
think
be the
y'all-
mother.
I
You're a
think-
birthing person.
I think y'all just create these scenarios that I don't say and then say that's what I said.
Maybe you
It's giving
think you're
Trump.
conveying
It's giving
something
Trump.
else.
No, I said you don't have to be the. I've been mispronouncing biology and biological weapon.
You're
for-
a biology mother.
I've been mispronouncing all this time.
biology mother.
To say that you don't have to be genetically connected to a child to be a mother. I have said that several times.
And I am saying to you, you
But
don't
auntie
have to
duties-
have the child living in your household
duties-
daily to assist with raising
that's
it
auntie
daily.
duties.
Because if you're the person
That's auntie
assisting
duties.
with making sure it gets to school on time, it don't live at your house, but you don't have a problem.
Y'all be-
Hey, guess
she's
what? I'm
superwo-
transporting
okay,
her.
Kamala is Superwoman.
Her name is not Kamala.
What was his name?
She
Mother
is
Teresa.
a mother.
We're gonna take that
she
right
is a
back.
daughter.
Hold on. So
She
what,
called-
Mother Teresa?
She
Mother
called
Teresa.
Auntie Teresa.
Oh, you're right. Not Mother Teresa.
I don't
Auntie
even like
Teresa.
Mother Teresa.
That's fine.
She was giving
Because
out,
she was an auntie.
No, I don't like Teresa.
auntie.
Mother, I'm gonna call her Teresa.
You're going to call
I
her
don't
auntie.
like TT.
Okay.
Teresa, because she was using needles in African countries. She was reusing needles to other African. I don't like her. I don't like her. She's
Okay.
not.
So explain that.
Huh?
Huh?
What we talking
Explain
about
that.
I don't. Oh.
No, she took her mother title. That's what he's saying.
Oh,
No,
okay.
she don't get no mother title.
Okay,
She
for
loves
using
snatching
devil.
up a mom title.
for using needles.
She would take needles, stick a child or an adult. She was over there dealing with AIDS. She would reuse those needles and stick another one.
And where we getting this data?
It's in the history. he can Google it. It's
It's
in the history.
in the history,
It's in the
listeners.
history.
It is
Look
in
it up.
the history.
Look it up. It's in the history.
So
Teresa does not get mother. She gets colonizer.
okay, Auntie TT
She ain't gonna get no TT.
can
But
be-
Kamala, she is like Superwoman. She like
She is.
God.
She
She
absolutely
created
is.
the heavens and the
She
earth.
did.
She rose and
she
resurrected
did
herself
because she's a woman.
She is a mother,
and
she
that's
is a
what
sister.
we do.
She's everything.
Black women do it all. We are
said what?
mothers.
You
We're
said- what did you
sisters.
say?
We take care of children. We take care of children
What'd
that
she
are
say?
not our children. We are surrogate mothers. We're spiritual mothers. We're fleshly mothers. We are
we are
career
everything.
individuals. We
Oh,
keep the house together.
She's a
we
saint.
run it all.
She's a saint.
And we still
She a prosecutor,
are
so she can't be
looking
trusted.
good. Okay? So kudos to her. I'm with her. She has my endorsement. I will back my words up with my money because I want to make sure she has every.
you gonna donate to her campaign?
I'm gonna
Did you donate to Biden's campaign?
I did not,
So why you ain't donate to Biden's?
because I
campaign?
donated to Obama's, and I'm gonna donate to.
Wait,
Kamala.
wait. Why you ain't donate to Biden's though?
Because I'm gonna donate to Obama. I did buy Obama,
Okay.
and I'm gonna do.
So
Kamala.
you just gonna bypass Biden though?
I bypassed a lot of people. There's only gonna be two.
What made you pick
so far?
those two?
You know what? I wanted to further the cause.
Of what?
The cause to show that people of color can hold elected office and do a fantastic job at it. That our education is not substandard because of our race. That yes, we read the same law books, we read the same medical books, we take the same LSAT, we take the same SAT, we take the same MCAT, we take the same exams, and affirmative action doesn't get us an easier exam so that we can pass and get there like some people might believe, Elon Musk. So that's why I further those cause. I want those people to have the opportunity so that the entire United States, the entire world can see, yes, they can. Just like Obama said, yes, we can. Yes, we can. And I'm telling you, the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because
she's from Jamaica?
No, because as an attorney,
Oh.
I too get discounted day in and day out, not just by people who are white, not by people who consider them Caucasian, but by my own people who would look and say, I'm not hiring her because she's a black female. She's not going to be able to play golf with the judge. She's not going to know the law. She's not going to fight for me.
Do you play golf with judges?
I don't play no golf with nobody. I play with the judge. I don't play. I quit school because they had recess.
I pop my basketball.
I don't play, okay? And those who know me know that.
I broke the violin strings.
No, I busted up the piano. But my point
I failed
is
kindergarten.
because they play. My point is this: I further it because I want to make sure.
I don't trust your
to
research.
make sure that people know.
Is it alleged?
What is alleged?
It's bad. How should I say this? Because the thing about misinformation is it's very easy.
To misinform.
It's very easy to misinform.
Yeah, y'all be
but it's
listening to
so
these liberal.
difficult to explain.
tell people,
because there's
yes.
so much nuance in it.
What are you talking about? Like, oh, they sterilized them?
No, the reused needles thing. The thing is, it was the 1940s, and basing it off of that, they said it was because she was an Indian nun. She was basing her standards based off the hospital standards in India in 1940. India had like whether you were in her hospice or you were in a hospital, they were reusing needles at that point in time because reusable needles wasn't really a standard in India at that time.
But
So-
maybe not till AIDS.
Yeah,
'Cause-
it was 1940s that she was really doing it
handing
in
out
her
the
hospice.
AIDS.
No,
She was-
when did AIDS?
She was
When did AIDS?
out the AIDS.
Because remember, certain diseases that are not
Oh.
introduced
Look at you come
at
and
a
try to
particular
help people
time.
and she ended up
Yeah,
passing
it
out
was
more
1960s,
AIDS.
1970s, 1940s, because she's very old.
Yeah.
So yeah, AIDS crisis was the 1970s to the 80s. So AIDS showed up in the 70s,
Okay.
early 60s.
So wasn't she in Africa?
She was in India at the time.
No, she was never in Africa dealing with the AIDS crisis.
No, she visited, but that's not where her actual hospice was.
No, but she was in the field dealing with the AIDS crisis.
Yeah, she was dealing with it, but I'm saying that was not her hospital, like where she
I
stamped
know,
her
but
name
the
on. It
practices
was
that they used
someone
was
else's.
reusing needles, though.
But they're saying the practice, which like for that entire region, you're being unfair. They're pointing at her, but they're saying the entire region was like
Was
that.
doing
well, she's still part of it, though.
No.
No,
but
that's
there's-
like saying a doctor working at Emory is
you're still-
following the Emory standards.
No. Remember the standards for that. They're saying
In the
what
80s?
people are doing for the 80s in that area, that region of India and that African area. They were reusing needles due to the fact that needles at that time
Was
the
scarce.
disposable ones were scarce. They're not getting enough supplies for
Right.
that.
So that's. Do you
So
not
what there's-
do y'all not see that? Why aren't we just accepting that?
No,
You're
we're not saying it's correct. We're telling
I
you
under-
why
I
it's unfair
I understand
to
the
pin it on her
explanation.
if she's not the person who created the
I
standard.
understand the explanation behind why they did, but the results are still the same. And the fact that
No, but what he's
So
saying
what you're
is
saying is it's her fault regardless.
what I'm saying is that if you're in the medical field and you're not just exposed to India's policies, you know what I'm saying? You're
I mean,
not
she's just in India and she's using what they got.
but you're going into Africa.
no, she's in India. What
She
part
was-
of that you don't get?
No, she was helping in Africa, but what I'm
You know
saying
what?
is
Nothing
her,
that I say.
her
No.
base of operation.
So let me ask you a question: Is the Codiva's statement that she took her needle practice from India to Africa and implemented it?
It was a practice that was pretty much consistent in all third world countries.
Okay.
You reusing needles is a third world country thing. The first
Okay.
world countries were the only real ones, like I'm talking about America and Europe, were the only ones really using disposable or
but
cleansing their needles
here's
with
here's
oil
the
and water.
issue, though.
Right.
Mother Teresa was known all over.
Yeah, she was known
Right?
all over, but that's not what
The
she worked.
AIDS epidemic was known all over.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
It didn't start like
I
like
think
that.
what happened is
If we're in the 80s,
It started. It started.
If we're in the 80s and AIDS is rampant and everybody's doing all this information and you know what I'm saying, there's trips going. I'm pretty sure there were Americans in Africa during the AIDS epidemic, and American practices are different than the Indian practices, and just the knowledge in the medical field, and we're talking about this and and we're trying to stop this crisis, and this information's here and this information's there, and you're reusing needles because you don't have enough.
It's not like that. Dana,
you're making it up.
It's just like the Tuskegee experiment.
No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. Nope.
They practice on
Dana,
Africans.
Pull up. We're going to have to pull up because we are not going to crash and burn on Diva Court.
Okay,
we're not with me sitting here.
So
now you can go on talk radio and do that.
Most of this misinformation is coming from a very famous documentary by Hitchin called Hell's Angel. And it wasn't much of a documentary. It was more of a hit piece against her. And then it became a game of telephone. So a lot of his statements that he said became more stretched out over time. And you have to look at it through the scope of that time period. A lot of people 80s. Are looking at it from...
We're not talking about the 40s. We're talking about the 80s. This is 40 years later.
No. They're talking about the Hitchins. Because remember, there was a documentary in the 80s and 90s that really was like, hey, she's a demon and she's doing all this demon stuff, saying that she's bad, she's giving used needles. Her hospice is a place just to die, and it's.
I think that's all hospice.
So that's true.
I hate to break it to you, but
her hospice survival rate was half 50%.
Most
that's
hospice
she's reusing needles.
No, hospice survival rates is 100%.
You passing AIDS
0.
on. Let me test you to see you have AIDS. Hand me that needle.
But that's not how it was working. It's that's why I said when you get misinformation.
I know.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
I know. Let me tell you
ignorance is bliss.
I know that they sterilized the needles. I know that they sterilize it. They would reuse needles. They would still sterilize them. So it's not like they took it from one person and pinched another person. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this was the 80s. And at this time, there was a crisis.
It was 40s, 60s, 70s. She's been there for a long time.
So if the medical information from the 40s, 40 years later has changed because the AIDS epidemic is rampant.
But what the critics are trying to say is that she was following the practices of all the hospitals there. Well, we're just pointing at her saying it's just her. That means qualified doctors were doing the same thing she was doing.
They're just as bad.
But they just picked
everybody across the country.
All of them are bad. And they practice.
That's what they're trying to say. It was the sign of the time.
Right.
They practice on
That's like
Africans.
saying they rode donkeys. She rode a donkey.
They practice on Africans. They didn't use those procedures in Europe.
That's because she didn't have a car at that time.
They didn't use those procedures in America.
Because she was an Indian nun.
They didn't use those procedures in their Rome, where all the nuns go to play.
No, she was in. I don't know how many times I got to tell you she was an Indian.
No,
nun.
I understand that, but
she's past that
from India.
And
I understand that she's a nun from India, but the head of the nunnery
is not a doctor.
Rome.
Is not
is
a
in
doctor.
Rome. And Rome plays a big. There are so many Catholic
guess what?
hospitals. Oh
not a nurse either.
There's so many Catholic hospitals.
It's like getting mad at the COVID crisis at one individual when all the hospitals were doing it.
They did. He's called Dr. Fauci.
You know what? You know what Africa did that was a lot different than the last time that they tried to bring some type of vaccination. They said, "No, you're not going to use us as guinea pigs. Go somewhere else and then come back."
No. There is okay. So let me put it this way. There's validity to some of the mistrust in the medical industry for people of color based on some past egregious conduct.
Tuskegee experiment.
Okay, so I do not ever want to discount the Tuskegee experiment. But what I don't want to use it to do is conflate other issues.
Do you know how they figured out how to use anesthesia?
How?
You're going to have to look this one up too. They cut open black women to figure out pain tolerances. And that's how they end up figuring out how to use anesthesia.
No, but here's the thing. You got to remember where you're coming from. And you told me that I shouldn't say that. I think it was our last episode. We shouldn't just be grateful that they didn't, kill us or leave us in the field. That's what when I keep saying to you, you got to know what progress looks like. There was some, when I say egregious things going on as it pertains to how people of color were treated. Because remember, you were not considered a human being.
Hence Africa.
You were not considered a human being. So if you start there, then it will make sense, some of the things that people experienced, such as, if what you're saying is true or accurate, we're using women, black women, to determine the pain level, if that's how we're going to determine if anesthesia works. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't want to indict.
We need to, but if we put the puzzle pieces together, it is the same story, different area.
No, it's not.
Let me say this. The AIDS epidemic was rampant in America, in the LGBT community and in the black community. They got it under control in the LGBT community, right? Why is it, maybe not as now, but the African AIDS epidemic still runs rampant? It does not
So let me
sense.
tell you why. I don't think you realize that ignorance is running a lot of the issues that you have there. There was a documentary that I looked at, and the documentary was about them killing albino children, because the albino
witchcraft.
children, no, not even witchcraft. The albino children, if you killed them and buried them in your yard or on your property, or before you built your business, if you're going to build a
makes
high
them
rise,
flourish.
it makes you rich. It makes you flourish. So when that ignorance started, parents who had children that were had to try to find somewhere to put their kid, because if someone saw them, they would kill them, because they're thinking, I just want to kill you because it's gonna make me wealthy. It's gonna make that kind of ignorance.
I wonder,
That kind of
why
ignorance.
didn't they, when they saw white folks, why did they think they?
Because you got to have. Remember, albino looks different from white people. It's kind of like you have a skin complexion that's not a complexion. It's like I'm looking through you. You understand what I'm saying? There's a difference between how a white person looks and an albino person looks. If you got to go look at a picture.
I seen one.
that, but it's different. But
They had albino just has.
I'm gonna
black
bind
people
you back to
features.
where my story started.
what was we talking about?
We were talking about Kamala. You cannot drink. You are already drunk. Kamala Harris. You came to the show lit. Kamala Harris is taking the seat, and Donald Trump, who was begging for Biden to step out of the race last week, wants Biden back. What's your take on that?
I feel that he's threatened, and I feel
He has a right
he
to be.
has to work harder to win. Also, because he can't just show up. Because with Biden, he could definitely just show
And
up.
just say, look at the old man.
And he could.
And now
definitely
she
just
can
say-
show up
he
and say,
didn't-
look at the old
White
man.
as his cap, he didn't have to say nothing because Biden couldn't even string a sentence together.
So he could say,
So-
look at the old man.
But now when you look at them, you have a prosecutor versus a 32
Well,
time
don't
felon.
even just say prosecutor. Say,
Listen, you have a prosecutor versus
a felon.
32,
34. How about 34?
34.
Okay. A prosecutor and a felon.
34,
Okay. So those are your
indictment
choices,
felons.
listeners. You have a prosecutor and a felon.
A
running for
prosecutor
president.
versus a felon.
She prosecuted felons, and he is one. So I think he wants to murk up the waters, because 107 days really is not a long time to put a campaign together, but she's killing it so far. But here's the thing. There are lawsuits that they want to file, they being the Republican Party, challenging that Biden cannot transfer and say, okay, she can now be the person running for president. Because they're wrong. And here's why they're wrong. He was not the nominee.
Well-
and you're not the nominee until you have your convention.
And there's precedents too, because Lyndon Johnson, he stepped down, and I think it was like maybe 3 months before the convention, the DNC convention.
What they're doing is wasting
So
time.
the thing is, there's precedents that indicates that, you can step down.
Another thing that I noticed that people are not
No one
aware
has,
of.
because they still have to go through the DNC and get the delegates. And
You
the
do need to get
And the delegates are the people who actually vote for president.
You still need
The-
them
the-
delegates.
The delegates are
'Cause
like
if you don't get
the
'em-
electoral college little brother.
If you don't get them,
Right.
then
You don't
you're
even get the
not.
nomination.
You're not the nominee. So for all the
here's
people
a
that's
question.
out there running up their mouth talking about
Here's the question. What we know is that, and this is what I told you last week. I told you that.
is that a question? You told me a question last
I
week.
got a question, but I do want to say this. I told you last week that they have to put her at vice president. I said that the vice president has to be the head of the ticket because they're going to lose. Not only will they lose the black vote, I also said that they're not going to get the money. The money is attached to Biden, which is also attached to the ticket. So they have to use her.
Well, there's federal rules regarding that. If I'm a donor and I donated money to Biden, I can't just say, okay, we're going to give it to anybody that runs. That's why to hear people on the news, especially reporters who know better because they've been in politics and they've covered politics for years, sitting at a microphone just talking salacious stuff frustrates me because they know and are not educating the American people that you can't just transfer money that was donated to Biden to somebody like Buttigieg who just jumps up and says, I want an open convention. Those are some of the things I'm hearing. I'm like, open convention? Where are you going with that?
Right.
You can't get this money.
Buttigieg should have changed his last name before he started trying to run for office. But that's another story for another day. Think of this, though. Because you have a incumbent presidency, you know, when you're donating, technically, I don't know. I'm just talking, so we could talk about it. Are you donating to the DNC? Like, wouldn't one...
You're donating to the ticket. That's what you're donating because it's a Biden-Harris ticket.
No. Keep this in mind. We're still in the primary.
Right, it's a Biden-Harris ticket.
No. There's no ticket. The ticket comes to life after the DNC occurs, right? I could be completely wrong, but I'm just like, for argument's sake. The ticket comes to life when they nominate, you know, for the general election.
Say Biden.
They nominate Biden for the general election. So now when you're donating directly to Biden.
Right.
At this point in time, the floor is open. Like the producer.
No, it's not. It's not that open.
Listen.
Here's why it's not open.
Let me just
because you would have to be as a voter. You would have to be ignorant. As if he's just gonna say to her, "Guess what? Thank you, baby, for the ride."
Listen.
And I'm not carrying you in this term.
Can I set? Let me.
You're gonna have to get out that vice president's house.
Let me set
and get off Air Force 2.
Let me just set the argument. Let me set the argument.
Okay.
And then we can argue it from there. So at this time, we're still in. Although it seems like we're in the general election, we're in a primary at this time. So no electoral votes or no delegates have been decided to go to whoever, right? So in this moment, we're still in the primary. Any Democrat could just say, hey, I want to challenge the incumbent, but it never happens because that's historically they don't do that.
Well, it didn't happen here. So go with your hypothetical.
But they can.
It didn't happen. Now let's go.
But they can.
But it didn't.
But listen to what I'm saying. But it can. So if it didn't, all the money that's being collected is technically for the DNC. It's not necessarily for
No, it's not.
the delegates.
That's not how it's
we're
done.
in a primary.
That's not how it's done. When donors are donating.
Just think of this. As an attorney, you don't think it's some kind of loophole that says, okay, let's say he gets sick and die. You don't think, or something happens where he has to drop out. You don't think there's some kind of loophole that says, hey, if this candidate can, let me just finish.
Got to get the money back to the donor.
If
I give you money and say, here, spend this on the light bill. You have to be careful. You go to jail for this. This campaign funding stuff is no joke.
I know.
Most people don't read the fine print. They just think, give me money, I'm going to run. Give me money. Do you know how many people are going to jail across this country on a quiet local level? Because they believe that. They believe that hypothetical. The hypothetical that you're pushing out, they bought it. And they never vetted it on the law to say, if somebody donates money to me for a particular purpose, if I decide for whatever reason I'm not going to use it for that purpose, do I get to keep it? They know they gave it to me.
But what I'm saying is
the answer is no.
What I'm saying is that when, you know, if the language says, I'm just making it up as I go. So I guess we don't really have to argue that because I was just pretty much saying that the language
hypothetically you're saying
if the language says this goes towards the presidential candidate.
That's
the
different.
DNC.
That's
Because-
different.
But what I'm saying
That's
is
why they're
when
telling you
we're
what the
in-
language says now. They're not
Okay, so
saying
they already said what the
No,
language
they
is.
have to know what the language is. Are you kidding? The rules are in place. The laws are in place. What they're saying is that's why it's so frustrating to me as a listener, listening to these talking heads that think that they need to be on air all day, 24 hours. Let me tell you something. Yesterday was wiling. You understand? My phone started blowing up because people were on CNN, people were on ABC. In fact, the weekend anchors, the people who nobody watched, ended up having to carry the bag because they were in the middle of their show when the announcement dropped. So now they're calling people on the phone. Chris Christie, can we get you on the phone? Because we can't get you on the air fast enough. So then when they hang up from him, they need to call, because it's 24. We're just going to go. We're just going to talk about this 24 hours. And unfortunately, you got to fill the air. So what they fill the air with? BS. And they, well, it's not sealed up yet, and it could be sealed up, but it's really an open race, and anybody can run, but what they're not following that up with is
infrastructure and
you
the money doesn't follow.
can't get the money. How are you going to get donors if you're telling me that some of Biden's donors said, "Hey, we're done. We're not pushing money in a campaign we know that's going to lose. We're done. We're not giving you any more money." If those donors, and remember, some of the donors said, I sat down with this man. George Clooney was one of the ones that sat down with him as a big donor and somebody who was raising money for him, and said, I sat down with him. And the person I saw is not the Joe Biden I know. I saw the same Joe Biden I saw the night of the debate. And I'm out. I'm not putting no more money in that because I'm not going to put my money to go die. I want to put my money into something that actually could be successful. So if you think Biden was struggling, we getting donors to give him money, and you some no-name. Who are you, governor? Who? Governor of what state?
But remember, it's anybody but Trump.
No, they're actually looking at the number. Don't discount Trump now.
No.
Because there are people who support him.
If Bloomberg wanted to run as a Democrat, he could definitely run. He got enough money, and then when it comes to going to the DNC, let's say he gets enough delegates, and he outgets the delegates that Harris got, then Harris can be like, you know what, I'm going to send my donating money. I'm gonna push it over into
no, you can't do that.
That is a possibility.
You can't do that.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't do that.
That you can, because that's what Hillary did. That's what all the
here's
other.
The thing.
When
you're talking about primary stuff.
What I'm saying is once you get to the primary and if you don't win the delegates, you can donate your campaign funds over to the person who won. You can definitely do that. That's a thing.
No, that's not a thing.
That is.
So I'm telling you, you got to listen to the experts.
That's true. I know that prior to.
Okay, so listen to me. First of all,
are you telling me that you think that when Hillary lost against Obama, you think that all of those donations to Hillary went back to those candidates?
Who do you think it went to?
It went to Obama.
Oh, so you
donated.
think the money? You think that? Wait. You're talking about her endorsing him and telling her voters to support him, or you're talking about the money that she had in her campaign fund that she just said, here it is. No, it don't work like that.
It does work like that.
Not only that, one of the variables. Yeah, we're gonna do some fact checking while we talk about this. One of the variables that you're forgetting is there's a runner on the other side, and people are running data. They're checking polls. Hey, if the race is between Dana and Marsha, who would you vote for? Hey, if the race is between Dana and the producer, who you vote for? If the race is between Kamala and Dana, who would you vote? So what I'm telling you is they're polling people and voters, and when they're polling those people are like, I don't know him. I'll just take Trump. I don't know that governor. I'll just take Trump. So that's why it's not as
Didn't
easy.
you say last week anybody but Trump? Anybody that I know that was going to vote for Biden is like, I don't care, anybody but Biden. Anybody. It could be anybody. But
yes, but remember, I am one vote.
No, but my second question.
I cannot control the American public. I wish I could, because I promise you, I will wave that wand tonight.
My second question to you is, who do you think is going to be her vice president?
I think she's going to pick Pennsylvania governor.
What's his name?
Because he's a swing state. You don't need to know his name. He's a swing
you-
state.
he's just another
look,
donut.
he got plenty of.
It's not. I don't be trusting.
Here's the
I
game.
need my own fact
Here's the
checker.
game.
I don't be trusting y'all.
Here's the game we play. The electoral votes. Okay, don't play with yourself.
Dana's sort of right, but I would only give you 50% on that test. Yes, they
It's
can
such a
transfer.
subject.
They can transfer money.
Okay,
if
based on
they-
what?
If they, based on federal law, they can transfer money. However,
Mm-hmm.
the caveat is, it is limited. You can only send so much money. So I think the cap for what they're saying, from what I'm reading, is $2,000 per election. For a transfer from a candidate in federal office to the House of Representatives or Senate or even president can transfer campaign funds to another candidate.
Mm-hmm.
However, the transfer are considered contributions and are subject to the contributions limit.
Okay,
So the roundabout way for a campaign to get money from one candidate that has dropped out to another is to give back that donation to
the donor, and let the donor give
and
it
then
to
let
the next
donor
person.
transfer it to the next person.
That's how it's gonna work.
So they would have to be on top of that. So what they would do is call up their big donor.
And say, please, Dana, I got
Here's
this
your money
money.
back.
Here it is. Give it to me.
but they
give it
can
to the people.
transfer money.
No,
Yeah.
you got to transfer it back.
So the process would take a while.
Of course it's going. That's what they were
Didn't
saying
you
is that
say
it's not that
first
easy.
That you can transfer money.
But I'm saying how they transfer it is I give it back to you and then you take
And
it
you give it to me.
and then you give it to him.
What did you
So
say?
it's not really
It's not a transfer.
it's not really a transfer. I'm just giving you the money.
It's no different from me just donating my $2,000. Hey, I'll give you $2,000 because it's the max
I'm pretty
anyway.
sure they don't send the money back.
They have
probably,
to send
They
that.
probably
I'm telling
call
you.
them and say, "Hey, can we transfer your money to blah blah
I'm
blah?"
telling you
They don't have
that they will
If
put
not,
you.
we'll send you your money back.
Campaign funds will put you in jail. Let me tell you something. It's kind of like
They
real
have to
estate
get-
law. You know why I don't practice real estate law? Let me tell you why I don't practice real estate. It's the fastest way for a lawyer to end up in an orange jumpsuit. Fastest. Let me tell you something. Stuff that you think is just normal in terms of a closing and, oh, we just moved the number from the seller to the buyer and the buyer to the seller. Oh, y'all agree on that? That's not a problem. We'll do that. You will go to jail.
Do not pass go.
Hey, do not pass go. Do not collect
Can we-
$200.
can we get to that?
Why are you drinking?
Because the show is about to be over.
Oh my God. What we drinking to?
Don't go to jail.
Oh my God.
You a lawyer who don't practice real estate, and
Because I don't want to go to
I'm a real
jail.
estate agent who don't
want to go to jail.
Exactly. That's what we're drinking to. You know,
Tiny producer, you got something?
I was going to say,
Hold on, tiny
Looks like
producer
he wants
trying
to
to say.
end the show. That's what he's looking like.
Tiny producer, you want to close the show?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I gotta say is that I've been like, I'm getting like flashbacks to like 2016 election, because if I had a nickel for every time Trump ran against a woman, I would have 2 nickels.
Ooh, that's right. Because
I
it's
thought you were gonna
twice.
say,
It's twice.
I thought she was going to say she was going to lose because
She
she
got to
lost to another
win.
woman.
She's
He's
gonna
tired.
win.
I'm sorry. He wants to go to bed.
I was thinking that Gavin Newsom. might
No,
have been.
2 California's
But
not gonna work.
That was what I was.
2
that was-
California's not gonna
That's
work.
what came across was that.
Nope.
Oh yeah, he's from California.
Nope.
And
She's already got the California votes covered because she's from California.
California was gonna vote
So,
for Democrat no matter where.
she-
you
no,
could
no,
have
no,
been
no,
from.
no.
You
You
could have been
can't-
from.
You can't discount people.
Bucknut,
Not
New
let me tell you
Jersey.
something. Not in this
You a
environment.
Democrat.
It'll
vote
probably
for
be the
California.
Kentucky governor.
No, I think it's
think
gonna
it's
be
the Kentucky
Pennsylvania.
governor?
Yeah, the Kentucky Democrat.
It's a black woman, man.
It's a white dude. The
Yeah,
whitest
it's
man
got
you
to
could
be a
ever
white
find.
man, ma'am.
Is
It's got to
that
be a white
Mark
man.
Kelly?
I
Somebody
don't
said was
think he's
mentioning Mark Kelly.
I don't remember.
I don't know who that is. It's got to be a white male. I can tell you that right now. It cannot be anything other than a white male, and it needs to be from one of them states that's got a whole
But you
lot
know
of
what?
electoral votes.
Hillary Clinton had. You know who's Hillary Clinton's running mate was?
Who?
You don't remember who he was?
Show don't.
That's the point.
His name is Andy Bashir,
Oh, from
Kentucky governor.
It has to be somebody
Kentucky?
with.
He's the
Oh.
whitest
It has
man
to
you've
be
ever
somebody with some charisma, because
seen. He just needs to be white.
and
Period. Period.
Well,
Okay,
Hillary
you
Clinton-
forgot what country you live in.
Hillary Clinton
telling me
had
about the
a white-
Tuskegee experiment, how they
Right.
use black
Hillary
women
Clinton,
to determine
What I'm
anesthesia.
saying is he needs to be white with charisma.
No, he just needs to be white.
Listen,
Well, she
Hillary
has a
Clinton had
very
a-
long white wine list that she can choose from. She got
I know she know how to get close to a white man. She's good at that.
She said, I can. Let me
She slept her way to the
tell you
top.
which white man I'm going to bring.
Oh, so only black women can sleep their way to the top?
Oh, white women don't do that?
White women don't sleep their way to the top?
POC. Let's
me?
correct the record.
Excuse me?
So
You
she's
need to
not
correct
only-
yourself.
Not
okay?
only
So
can
she's not
POC,
black, though.
Huh?
She's not black.
She's
now.
not black. Yeah, she's not black.
She's not an equator
So
person.
she's a white woman sleeping her way to the white top. Okay. YSL trial judge has been removed, listeners,
About damn
from
time.
the... You drinking of that? He's been removed, and then the judge that was assigned said, I'll recuse myself. Thank you very much. I will not take up the sham, the mockery, the shamockery.
Why did she
So
recuse
Judge
herself?
Ingram, Shakura Ingram, was assigned after Judge Glanville was removed, and she says, thanks, but no thanks.
Why did she recuse?
Come on
what was
now.
her reason?
The case is supposed to last till 2027.
But I know, but what was her reason?
Her
though?
reason was because her former deputy, now one deputy now, because remember, deputies rotate at the courthouse. One deputy, her former deputy, was having relations with one of the defendants in the Young Thug case. So she did not want it. She's recusing herself. Ma'am, come up with a better excuse next time, please. Just say, I don't want to do all that work, and it's too much for me. Ladies and gentlemen,
So
we
who has
know
the case now.
Judge Whitaker.
Okay.
So it's been reassigned to Judge Whitaker. So, ladies and
They
gentlemen,
are going to jail.
let me tell you what Judge Whitaker needs to do. Let me tell you what they would
Have
do.
you ever been in front of Judge Whitaker?
Yes, and let me
Is
tell
she
you what I
pretty
would
fair?
do. I don't. Fair is relative when you talk about judges, because that's what I don't like about law. It depends on who's the defendant, who's the prosecutor, who's the judge. You understand? It's too many variables, and it really should be dependent on two things: law and facts. But that's not the case. But my thing about this,
So
if I were
are you
Judge
telling
Whitaker,
me that I could be dead wrong on the law?
yes, you could be dead wrong on the law. That's why I have appellate courts. Remember?
Okay.
The
so
judges
once
say-
it goes to the appeals to the appellate court,
Appellate
they
courts
follow the law?
usually we fix it. Now it may not be the Court of Appeals, but it might have to get all the way to the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court, come on, Court of Appeals. You should have known better.
I was gonna use
But
that
let me
to
tell you
my
what I would do
advantage.
if I was judge before I close the show. If I'm judge, I'm gonna take the case and I'm gonna call everybody in. I'm gonna say we having a status conference. Prosecutor, I need to have a list of your witnesses before we get to the status conference, and I need to understand a list of the exhibits you plan to present, because you should know what that is by now. You and Glanville just played 2 years, and you should know what they are. I need to find out if all of it has been transferred to the defense. And you're also going to come to the status conference and tell me what each witness you expect to talk about. And if each witness is going to come up and say, yeah, they a gang, yeah, they a gang, yeah, they a gang, we're going to cut some of those witnesses down, and we're going to try this case so we can let these jurors, like Pharaoh, let God's people go. That is psychotic. I would dismiss the order that was holding
Pharaoh. The Most High hardened Pharaoh's heart, so he had to stay there a little bit longer.
well, look, they hardened Glanville's heart, and that's why he stayed a little bit longer. And we're going to drink to that. Listeners, don't forget to look for us every week. You got to find us on
Spotify,
Apple Podcasts,
Apple,
and Google Podcasts.
Google.
And don't forget to look for our videos every Wednesday
And
when we push them out real good.
And
make sure you
wait,
subscribe,
wait.
subscribe.
At least one Monday out of the month, I'm gonna give you nothing but conspiracies.
You mean every week?
was
That's
today.
what you've been doing.
That was today. I was on a conspiracy roll.
No, you roll conspiracy.
According to
We need to just crown you conspiracy
according to history.
queen. His story.
According to history, the CIA coined conspiracy in order to propagate that anything that you ask questions about is a conspiracy, because they didn't want you to know that they really killed JFK. I'm just saying.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. Wait a
That is
minute.
true. Conspiracy. The title
Listeners,
conspiracy came out back.
I'm going to
when
close the show so y'all
JFK
don't get nightmares tonight.
These things I say.
So
are
what
true.
we gonna do is what we do on here, Diva Court, when we close the show, and that's called "We'll Drink to That." No more conspiracies.
Shout out to the first WOC to run for president.
Help her, Holy Ghost.
Well, I guess you would have to get nominated first. So you should probably be nominated. So shout out to you.
She got it. Kamala, President Kamala.
We got to drink to that.